After the 4th of July, Independence Day. This morning we're going to go ahead and get started. Commissioner Grady is expected in a few minutes. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brown.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item of business this morning is the approval of the May 24th and May 31st, 2016 General Session minutes and the minutes of the June 2nd, 2016 briefing session.
I'll move approval of those minutes.
Second that.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved.
Great. And next we have our Court of Common Pleas.
Resolution number 492-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations for the addition of one full-time business analyst position to support court operations.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Susan Bedsole, Deputy Director for the Common Pleas Court.
And I'm Stacy Worthington, Director of Court Support Service.
Great.
As noted, this resolution is for supplemental appropriations for a business analyst position. This position will really bridge the gap between technology and our business processes. The court has incorporated technology in many areas of its operation, e-filing, our court forms, which is electronic forms for disposition sheets, entries, those types of things. We've really identified the need for this type of position so that it can identify when a technology solution would be appropriate, and also to help us monitor our current systems so that we can be as effective and efficient as possible. Initially, the position will assist with the FCJS replacement project, but of course, going forward with the ever-changing environment of technology, we want to always remain proactive versus reactive. So the position was originally requested in the 2016 budget process, was deferred for approval for further review. We certainly appreciate the efforts of OMB to assist us in the approval of this resolution. So pending any questions, we would request approval.
The judges are all in agreement. This
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Absolutely.
Great.
And we did ask at briefing, I think I did, if this is sustainable. Mr. Administrator, you still view this as sustainable given, again, the fact that we are looking at these looming cuts?
Commissioner Brooks, Commissioner Brown, yes, I do consider this position sustainable. OMB, along with County Administration, after the budget was approved, reviewed this position pretty extensively in working with Adam Lukov, our CIO for the commissioners, made sure that this position had not only is it sustainable in the short term, that in the long term there's outcomes associated with the position as the court implements certain technologies.
So by outcomes, you mean cost savings, return on investment?
Yes,
okay.
Some of those, as well as looking at upcoming projects such as the FCJS replacement.
Okay, great.
I think this makes sense. It makes it more efficient, and with the judges on board with technology, which wasn't always the case, I know, and more they're finding it makes more sense. And I know that the attorneys have appreciated that as well. So I will move for approval of Resolution 492-16.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 492-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have the county engineer.
Resolution number 493-16, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Double Z Construction Company for the Alkire Road at Darby Creek Drive Improvement Project in the amount of $2,265,990.34.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good
Dean
morning.
Ringel, County Engineer.
Cornell Robertson, Chief Deputy Engineer.
Commissioners, we've had 7 successful bidders. No, I'm sorry, they weren't successful, but they're good bids. But we had one lowest and best bid for this project, and we expect this to be started rather quickly. It's improving the intersection of Alkire and Darby Creek Drive with a roundabout, and we're also working with Metro Park connecting up some of their pathways.
And this is sustainable within your gas tax budget?
It's paid for that way, yes. And we also have some grants from ODOT.
Great, great.
Good. I'll move approval of Resolution 49316.
Second that.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Resolution number 493-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 494-16, resolution authorizing the execution of a release of temporary easement in Refugee Road, Chatterton Road at No Bixby Road Improvement Project, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the southeast part of the county in Madison Township at the intersection of Refugee Road, Chatterton Road, and No Bixby Road. This resolution includes 3 properties and releases the temporary easements now that the project has been completed.
Great.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 49416.
Second that.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady. Resolution number 494-16 has been adopted.
Great.
Now we have the drainage engineer.
Resolution number 495-16, resolution approving a ditch maintenance petition for Royal Elm, Section 7, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, this particular subdivision has 34 lots, and this is a drainage maintenance petition that will be utilized for this particular subdivision.
I'll move approval of Resolution 49516.
Second that.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown.
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady. Resolution number 495-16 has been adopted.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And we now have
Sheriff.
the sheriff.
Resolution number 496-16, resolution authorizing a contract to Pelican Cleaners Incorporated, doing business as Dale Cleaners for uniform dry cleaning services in the amount of $203,760.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. This contract will be for a period of 2 years through July 31st, 2018 to provide uniform cleaning services to deputies of the Sheriff's Office. The service was competitively bid through county purchasing, where Pelican was determined to be the lowest and best bidder of the 2 responses received. Absent any questions, ask approval of this resolution.
We have a speaker this morning, Mr. Paul Jelpe, Swan Cleaners. Mr. Jelpe, you have 3 minutes.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Paul Jelpe from Swan Cleaners. I'm here this morning to object to the awarding of this contract to Pelican Dale Cleaners because, in our belief, it is unresponsive to the ITB that was granted or that was issued, and we responded properly. It has come to our attention that the current cleaner that is doing this, which is Pelican Dale, has not been dry cleaning the uniforms, but has instead been washing them in soap and water, much as you would do at home, and that's contrary to that ITB and contrary to this ITB. Washing is significantly less expensive to do and costs in materials and labor a great deal less. The bid process did not allow that information to be privileged to anyone other than the Sheriff's Department and to Pelican Cleaners. Swan Cleaners was not allowed to have that information. So we asked today that, and we have asked the Sheriff's Department beginning on May 17th to disregard that bid, and Swan should be the winner. At a minimum, we asked that it be rebid with information that was provided to the Sheriff's Department and by Pelican and by Swan that they rebid this contract. The worst that happens is the county saves money.
Thank you. Dave?
We have visited both dry cleaners since the letter was sent in by Swan. We believe that the bid is appropriate to move forward. Pelican is laundering items based on the garment tags. Wool, uniforms, suits, things of that nature are being dry cleaned. Polyester, I believe, items are being laundered per the garment tags. Swan Cleaners has been a vendor of the sheriff's office in the past, so they're well aware of the process and things that have happened in the past and how they have completed and allowed the contract, fulfilling the contract when they had it. So we see no reason to not move forward with awarding this contract.
Could I ask also our prosecutor, I understand there was a TRO request filed on Friday, but Judge Fry, who this matter was before, denied the temporary restraining order issuance. Is that correct?
That is correct, Commissioner Brooks. Based on Judge Fry's decision, the decision to move forward with this resolution is solely with the commissioners this morning.
But we did receive an email indicating that the prosecutor's office saw no reason why the contract should not move forward given the outcome of the TRO.
That's entirely up to you. You have the full discretion to move forward with it. Correct.
Well, we have to follow the law. And if it was a competitive bid and the courts refused the TRO,
that means that
yes,
the
that we should
decision
move
is yours.
forward lawfully. Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
The only thing I'd like to add, though, is even though the TRO wasn't granted, that only means that they didn't have evidence at that brief meeting on the 3rd of July, or whatever it was, the last day of business, to go forth with the TRO. Doesn't mean that the facts in the case aren't true, because they are. We have information and belief. We have a witness that will substantiate that these goods have been washed. Again, a substantially less expensive process. Provides an unjust enrichment to the vendor, which I don't think was intended, and also provides an opportunity for them to continue this going forward if you grant this today. We ask it to be competitively bid again with everyone playing on the same playing field.
And of course, if you win that case, you can still proceed if you believe in the merits of your case, and you'll recover damages in the event that the court finds it for you.
But the burden of proof, the sheriff's department shifts that to us, when it's really their duty to investigate and determine, not just a visit, a site visit. We went through a site visit too. That doesn't mean anything. That just says, do you have the equipment? Do you have a facility? I think Mr. Masterson will agree they didn't test, they didn't observe anything coming from the machines. We asked Brad Priest about this. Brad Priest will tell you that, and he works in the sheriff's department for Mr. Masterson, I believe. He will tell you that they did not observe whether the clothes were being washed or dry cleaned. They observed machinery and they observed clothes. That's all.
Dave, we've had this situation come up almost every time, well, every time this has been bid out. Is this situation different this time from other times that we've had a complaint filed from the person that did, from the company that didn't get the award?
Yes, this seems to be the most highly contested bid in Franklin County government. This is a unique situation in terms of there's never been accusations that the garments aren't being cleaned properly in terms of dry cleaning versus soap and water that I can recall. It's very competitive in terms of the few vendors that are out there wanting this business. My understanding, contrary to what Mr. Jelpe said, is we did go out there and Brad did see the items being laundered that should be laundered and items being dry cleaned that should be dry cleaned. That's my understanding. Like I said, I see no reason why we would not move forward with this. Everybody, if Swan was new to the situation where they had no inner knowledge of how the process has worked in the past, then, you know, maybe at that point, then maybe you reconsider it. But at this point in time, I think they were both privy and submitted bids to the best of their knowledge on how they thought that they could deliver the service. I think putting it on hold right now kind of defeats the purpose of competitive bidding, because just because, you know, a vendor was not able to win the contract.
Swan was not privy to the information that these uniforms could be laundered. The bid contract says invitation to bid for the dry cleaning services. That's what it says on the face of it. 15 times throughout the contract it states that, and at the point where you insert your bid amount, it says that, the total amount for the dry cleaning services. And that's not what's being done.
Could we ask our contracting department to respond to that, please?
Good morning, Megan.
Good morning, Megan Balnier, Assistant Director of Purchasing. I would like to point out that although the invitation to bid title does state dry cleaning, in section, I believe it's F, the specifications, there are multiple areas where reference is made to laundering/dry cleaning, or laundering or dry cleaning. These documents were made available to all bidders, all prospective bidders. The purchasing department is not aware of any documentation or correspondence with either bidder that was not available to the other.
Okay.
Megan, Dave, how many bidders did we have?
We just had the two.
The specifications that I see here at section 1.05, is that what you're referring to? I don't see any Fs. You have section 1 and then subsections, Megan. Just want to understand. In the appendix F. Appendix F. Okay.
And both bidders had access to that.
Both bidders had full access to these bid documents.
Okay.
Yeah, just to clarify, that is Appendix F.
Who's the,
It repeats 3 times, items to be cleaned. It does not say dry clean.
who currently has a contract, Dave? Pelican?
Pelican, correct.
And how long have they had it?
They had it for the past 2 years.
And then who had it previous to that?
I believe it was Swan.
Mr. Shelby, when you guys had this contract before, did you guys launder or did you dry clean only?
We dry cleaned according to the bid contract. That's what it called for. While she did point out 3 spots that it did say laundering, there are 15 spots in that contract, Ms. Brooks, where it says dry cleaning.
Well, there's another spot where it refers to laundry/dry cleaning
And there are
services,
some
so
laundry items. There
I
are
think we'll
some
let the court
detective
sort
shirts.
this out.
Some detective shirts that get laundered.
We're gonna have to
But
let
the
court-
black uniforms, that's what the majority, that's 90% of the contract, and that's what we're talking about. And that's what's being laundered, and it should be dry cleaned.
But we do have an opinion of the prosecutor, this is the lowest and best bid.
Dave, you indicated earlier that they were following, Pelican's following the manufacturer's recommendations on the clothing?
Correct.
And this is a 1-year contract.
So on the black shirts that Mr. Jelpy's talking about, he's saying they should be dry cleaned, and Pelican is of the opinion that the manufacturer says they can be laundered?
We have 2 types of deputy shirts. We have wool shirts, which are dry cleaned, and we have the polyester material, which are worn in the jail. They're more lightweight, thinner, because they're indoors. Those are the ones, to my understanding, that are being laundered.
Yeah, it also says service providers shall pick up and deliver clothing items to be dry cleaned or laundered. That's another portion that I just quickly found in the appendix, which is included in the bid spec.
All right.
If there's a motion.
I will move approval of Resolution 49616.
Second the motion.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Aye.
Resolution number 496-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 497-16, resolution authorizing a contract extension to Uniforms Manufacturing Incorporated, Bob Barker Company Incorporated, and Charm Tex Incorporated for inmate clothing in the amount of $105,000.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a one-year contract extension for the purchase of inmate clothing provided in the jails, which includes shirts, pants, coats, and shoes. After this extension, there will be one optional extension remaining. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 497-16.
Second the motion.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 497-16 has been adopted.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
On to sanitary engineer.
Resolution number 498-16, resolution for a ninth contract modification to the General Engineering and Consulting Services Agreement with MS Consultings Incorporated for updates to the general conditions and the Pleasant Acres Mobile Home Park Pump Station Improvement Project documents.
Good morning.
Good
Marie
morning.
Strandwitz with the Sanitary Engineer. MS Consultants has been performing various design services for us under a general services agreement which was adopted back in 2008. We have not added new projects to this contract in several years. However, there are a few outstanding projects that they began design on that have not gone to bid. This ninth modification will provide for an update to one of those projects, the Pleasant Acres Mobile Home Park. We would like them to update the cost estimate and, if necessary, it also would authorize them to update the design and permitting documents that they previously prepared for us, should this project be bid by the sanitary engineer. And also through this modification, we are just cleaning up some outdated terms regarding the expiration of the general agreement and also the older rate schedules that it referred to that we have updated, obviously. So pending no further questions, your approval of this resolution is requested.
I will move for approval of Resolution 498-16.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 498-16 has been adopted.
Thank you so much.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 499-16, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with Kaiva Microfunds for support of the Kaiva Columbus project in the amount of $25,000.
Morning, Commissioners. James Schimmer, Director of Economic Development and Planning. I'm joined at the dais this morning by Michael Salvador, our Workforce Navigator. Commissioners, we're asking this morning that you approve a grant agreement with Kiva Microfunds. Kiva is an international nonprofit organization that runs a crowdfunding microenterprise loan program. It allows primarily low-income women and minority entrepreneurs to access startup capital and build their businesses. EDP is proposing to award $25,000 to Kiva to support its formal entry into Franklin County. Franklin County funds, when combined with other funds from the City of Columbus, GCAC, the Columbus Foundation, and the United Way of Central Ohio, and Access Ventures, will allow Kiva to build a platform on their website, which is actually exclusive to the Columbus, and Columbus is going to be named a Kiva City, which allows the folks who are interested in growing their businesses or making loans easier access to that fund. There is no money going to any loans. The money is being used to set up the mechanism by which the program can start and move forward. So we are asking for your approval this morning. Specifically, we're looking at areas that, from the economic development side of things, we're looking at job creation, again, especially for women, minorities, veterans, and low-income residents. We want to increase the ability to do small business startups, increase private sector innovation by the county as well as increasing social entrepreneurism. It's a different approach. There's no doubt about it. The micro enterprise lending that we currently do goes through ECDI for the most part and increase. This case is important because we also found out at briefing that the Huntington Bank will potentially put up $100,000 of private sector funding, so we're leveraging that as well. But currently, we would like to move forward with the program and are going to ask for your approval this morning of this particular program.
It's an exciting approach, and Kiva has done some amazing work. And I know these micro loans are small loans, and for us to be a Kiva City is a good marketing effort as well. So the public relations benefit to our community is terrific. So I'm happy to move for approval Resolution 49916.
I will go ahead and second this today. I just want the public to be clear that we are essentially paying for the build-out of a web portal here, because these funds and the loans can already be accessed. This is just further enhancing the name identification of Columbus as a Kiva City, which is, in the scheme of things, that's marketing. But we're not lending the credit of the taxpayers of Franklin County. I want to be very clear on that.
Moved and seconded in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 499-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, guys. Homeland Security and Justice Programs.
Resolution number 500-16, resolution authorizing an extension and increase in sub-grant award amount for services with Capital University to support academic assistance under the Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act Block Grant in the amount of $10,517.
Good morning, Greg Plants with Homeland Security and Justice Programs. This award of Title II funding will support the expansion of tutoring services provided to incarcerated youth in the Franklin County Detention Center by Capital University law students.
Good. Happy to move for approval.
Thank you.
Resolution 500-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 500-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 501-16, resolution authorizing a sub-grant award and contract for services with Franklin County Job and Family Services to support the I Am My Brother's Keeper program under the federal fiscal year 2014 Title II Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act Block Grant in the amount of $37,166.
Commissioners, this resolution will support outreach, engagement, intervention, and referral services for up to 75 at-risk male youth aged 10 to 15 residing in the south side of Columbus. Programming will include a parent component and is intended to reduce risk factors that lead to truancy, juvenile court involvement, and other unruly behaviors.
I'll move for approval of Resolution 501-16.
Second that.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown?
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks?
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Aye.
Resolution number 501-16 has been adopted.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Greg. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 502-16, resolution authorizing a lease agreement in support of the operations of the Franklin County OSU Cooperative Extension in the amount of $29,162.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Assistant Director, Public Facilities Management. We provide office and common space in support of the operations of the Franklin County OSU Cooperative Extension. As you know, the Extension offers diverse programming for Ohioans in the areas of 4-H youth development, family and consumer services, community development, and horticulture, all of which improve the lives of Franklin County residents, rural, urban, and suburban. This action will approve the lease for their existing location. They currently continue to operate out of their offices located at 2105 South Hamilton Road. Pending any questions, we ask for your approval of the lease agreement.
I'll move approval of Resolution 502-16.
Second that.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 502-16 has been adopted.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Darla.
Darla.
Human Resources.
Resolution number 503-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. Have the following personnel actions this week. Board of Commissioners, 1 new hire. Child Support Enforcement Agency, 1 new hire. Community Partnerships, 1 resignation. Department of Job and Family Services, 1 new hire, 3 transfers within the agency, and 1 probationary removal. Office of Homeland Security and Justice Programs, 1 promotion and transfer between agencies. In Public Facilities Management, 1 transfer within the agency and 1 resignation. Pending any questions, I request approval of the resolution.
Move approval of Resolution 503-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 503-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Rob. Purchasing.
Resolution number 504-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $5,523,702.47.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Ballinger representing purchasing. The resolution before you requests your approval of 86 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
I'll move approval of Resolution 504-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 504-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Megan.
Megan. Board of Commissioners.
Public hearing.
We begin the Board of Commissioners with a public hearing on the 2017 tax budget for Franklin County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Choleric with the Franklin County Office of Management and Budget. The tax budget is a financial plan for the operations of the ensuing fiscal year. It identifies the anticipated resources and the amount of expenditures needed to carry out governmental functions for 2017. The budget is submitted to the County Budget Commission and used to justify the property tax to be levied, as well as to justify the receipt of the local government funds from the state. The 2017 tax budget includes the $46 million transfer from the general fund to the Public Safety Center Fund for the construction of the new jail and the Forensic Science Center. It also includes $7.5 million for the purchase of the Board of Elections facility on Morse Road. Does not include issuance of any debt for these purposes. These will be using cash primarily from the temporary sales tax. The expenditures also include any collective bargaining agreements agreed to, as well as increases in health care. For 2017, we're anticipating approximately a 16% increase in health care without any changes to the plan. That's due basically to the health care trend of about 8.5% to 9%, the change in the start of the plan year from April to January, as well as the rate holiday that was occurred in April of this year. The total cost of the general fund just for that is approximately $7 million.
For the rate holiday?
For the increase in health care, those 3 factors combined to go from the 16 approved budget to the 17 tax budget.
And what was the cost of the rate holiday in April?
It was approximately, I think, $3.5 million to the general.
Thank you.
The sales tax, another challenge for 2017 is related to the collection of the county sales tax. While collections have been strong this year, pending changes at the state related to the sales tax on Medicaid managed care organizations is expected to expire at the end of the state biennium in June of 16. The total collections in 2015 from that portion of the sales tax was approximately $19 million. Based on the timing of collections for the sales tax, we're expecting a loss of approximately $5 million for 2017 related to that, with additional losses of $14 million in 2018 and beyond. The tax budget does still include $5 million reserved in contingency for any unanticipated needs, and still has an anticipated $5 million in revenue above the anticipated expenditures for 2017. However, the challenges with healthcare and the loss of the sales tax will require some due diligence during the current budget process as we look forward to 2018 and beyond.
So, Zach, when does the county budget then, with those projected decreases in revenue, due to the Medicaid cuts, Medicaid tax cuts. When do we expect a structural imbalance in the budget? What year?
At this point, it will be closest with even no changes. We're kind of on the, we're roughly within balance. It may be a few million either way. I think with the cutback, what the issue becomes is any other changes in terms of an economic recession or other structural change that may come from the state. Those challenges would result in an imbalance.
So forecasting out to what about 2019?
2020, 21, yeah, we're still within a few million either way. A couple years is slightly below, a couple is slightly higher. Again, a lot of that's anticipated on sales tax growth that we get from our forecast from Moody's Analytics. However, any kind of structural change that may occur, you know, in terms of a recession or could cause an issue that would lead to imbalance.
As we looked at those budget numbers for even the next couple of years, we're going to have to be much more cautious in spending even now as we're starting to put together the next year's budget and going into 18.
Well, and even expenditures that we're making now, because those can be carried over if belts pulled in.
And I think as the county administrator mentioned in the earlier resolution with the Common Police Court, that in terms of new initiatives, making sure that there's a return on investment in terms of longer term savings or greater efficiencies or greater service to the taxpayers will be ensuring that that occurs for any new initiatives that would be funded.
Commissioners, Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. As has been our practice over a number of years, we always use our financial forecast as a planning tool and to have that foresight to look at 2021 and be prepared if there was some recessionary activity, it would, of course, impact our structural balance. So we want to look at these things well in advance. And I wanted to clarify for the record, as Mr. Telerik pointed out, our balance between revenues and expenditures will get tight 4 or 5 years out if we aren't prudent and we don't manage our expenditures in those out years, or if we see a decrease in revenue from the sales tax. We are looking at if there's no changes according to the state tax policy, and June 30th of 17, the Medicaid taxes changed as it applies to Medicaid MCOs. We have to be prepared for that reduction of $19 million in revenue beginning in 2018. So rest assured that the Office of Management and Budget and the county administration is looking at this, and we'll be taking these things in consideration as we look at the out years, because we are looking at health care as well as the changes in state tax policy are things that we have to monitor and we have to plan for accordingly.
Well, and we just heard this morning there's a 16% cost trend for public employee health care, so who knows where that will be also. The whole thing is, it's just caution signs everywhere. We need to show caution in all of what we're doing now. Very careful. If we plan now, it'll be all right in the out years, but we have to plan now.
And we thank you for always being
Now, these cuts were out of our control completely. They were really a federal and a state situation. The state is going to have to fill a big hole, what, $1 billion?
Yes.
In their budget too. So here we go again with fiscal issues.
This will be a very significant item of discussion for the state legislature and the executive branch as they approach the next biennial budget.
Right.
But at any rate, we have to do our due diligence to make sure we protect ourselves regardless of the outcome of those talks.
Right, beginning now.
So we're in public hearing now.
Yeah, is there anybody in the audience that would like to comment? Being that there's nobody here, we'll close the public hearing.
Resolution number 505-16, resolution authorizing the adoption of the fiscal year 2017 tax budget for Franklin County.
I'll move approval of 50516.
Second that.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 505-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 506-16, a resolution approving the issuance of healthcare facilities revenue bonds, Series 2016, Friendship Village of Dublin, Ohio Incorporated, of the County of Franklin, Ohio, in one or more series, in an original aggregate principal amount not to exceed $40 million, and consenting to and approving the execution and delivery of a lease, sublease, a bond purchase agreement, and assignment in connection with the issuance of such Series 2016 bonds.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good
morning.
My name is Diana Silvera, and I am with Dinsmore & Shohl, which is acting as bond counsel in this transaction. And this is Jerry Kwiat. He is the Executive Director of Friendship Village of Dublin. This resolution is being considered in connection with the possible bond issuance by the county for the benefit of Friendship Village of Dublin, Ohio, Inc., of a bond issue pursuant to Chapter 140 of the revised code. The principal amount will not exceed $40 million, and the proceeds will be used to refund the county's 2004 A bonds that were issued for Friendship Village, as well as to finance 79 new independent living apartments at Friendship Village's campus here in Dublin. It's important to note that no taxpayer dollars will be pledged or used to pay back these bonds, and the bonds do not constitute the debt or general obligations of the county. Friendship Village is solely responsible for repayments of these bonds. The Hospital Commission held the public hearing in connection with this bond issuance on June 29th, at which no one was in attendance, and then the Commission passed its resolution with one abstention at their meeting on that date. If you have any questions regarding the issue, we'd be happy to answer those for you.
And was the abstention due to a conflict which we anticipate happens because of the way we appoint board members?
It happened actually because one of the members has a family member that lives there.
I see. Okay. That makes sense.
Because it's such a great place. Well, I will move for approval of Resolution 50616.
Second that.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 506-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Antoine, do we have journalizations?
Yes, we have two. From the Economic Development and Planning Department, case number ANX-EXP2-19-16, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-EXP2-19-16, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on June 28, 2016. The petition is requesting to annex .46 acres from Jackson Township to the city of Grove City. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on August 2nd, 2016. Site Casa Boulevard, PID number 160-001105. Also from the Economic Development and Planning, case number ANX-EXP2-20-16, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-EXP2-20-16, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on June 28, 2016. The petition is requesting to annex 55 acres from Blendon Township to the city of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on August 2nd, 2016. Site 0 Uri Road, PID number 110-000023.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes our business for today. We'll see everybody next week.